Whatever Jonathan Huberdeau did to get his groove back needs to be taught to the rest of the Flames locker room because holy offense.
You're Locked On Flames, your daily podcast on the Calgary Flames. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Locked On Flames. As always, I am your host, Jess Belmosto, and thank you so much for joining me. Today's episode is sponsored by FanDuel. New customers can bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com to get started. Today is a great day. Flames are back in the win column. What more could we want, right? And it was actually a great performance from Dan Vladar as well. And we're going to dive into the difference makers as well as take a look at the numbers and see what is on our radar because Elliotte Freidman had plenty to say on the latest episode of 32 Thoughts. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. We're here for you Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, your Calgary Flames every day, and let's dive right into it. Let's start off with Jonathan Huberdeau. What a season he is having. Last night he hit 20 goals on the season, which makes that his 7th 20th goal season and his first as a Flame, scored on the power play, and that is just... for a power play that was underperforming, just the fact that he is able to consistently score in the power play, I'll take it. I know that scoring in general has been an issue for the Flames. So for him, who has struggled with scoring himself, to be able to score in a position where the Flames have struggled even more when they have the man advantage, I'll take it. I think it's great. We're going to talk more about his numbers and breakdowns coming up a little bit later, but I like what we're seeing from Huberdeau. I was kind of concerned that this was going to be like a flash in the pan sort of thing and we'd fizzle out, and he went 13 points in 13 games, and at one point it was 20 points in 20 games, which honestly, like, what more could you ask for of him? We know that we're not getting the 115-point Jonathan Huberdeau. That was never going to happen. Even before, even when he was traded, it was immediately like, okay, we're not getting that Jonathan Huberdeau again, but we're going to get something similar. So for him to be bouncing back like this is great. I just like what we're seeing. His passes are better. His shooting percentage is up. He is just like, it's like he fell in love with the game again. I feel like that's what we watch. That's what we've watched. Especially this past season. I think whatever he did in the off season was very helpful. But then this whole new Jonathan Huberdeau on the Calgary Flames is just it's fun to watch. He makes the Flames fun to watch. I enjoy when he has the puck on his stick instead of saying, oh my God, please pass it like it's a hot potato. And I think that is a huge development. But this was the fastest he has ever reached 20 goals in his career in just 52 games. So congratulations, Jonathan Huberdeau. This is what we expect. And it's great to be able to say nice things and not have all this harsh criticism. And I'm sure the outside noise. Anyways, Morgan Frost had his first goal as a Calgary Flame. How exciting. That was great. Absolutely filthy shot. And I was so overjoyed to see that. I think the Flames did a great job with this trade. I saw someone rank it like a D+, and I just wanted to question if they knew, like if they had ever seen Joel Farabee or Morgan Frost, or did they just pull a letter out of thin air? But I think that the adjustment period is going well for what it is, right? The trade happened late in the week. They played on Saturday with a group of guys they did not know and got pummeled, and then flew to Seattle and won. I mean, the adjustment period there, it's not like they came in at the beginning of the homestand and it was like, okay, we'll just ease our way in here and make ourselves familiar with everyone, how everything operates around you. No, they came in at the end and then on the end, played it back to back. Just good stuff, really. I think that Farabee, you can't just write someone off as like the dead weight of the trade 2 games into this. I don't think him not scoring yet is a cause for concern by any means. We need to let the chemistry build. We need to let these lines get adjusted. And especially when Connor Zary comes back, we're going to see more adjustment periods. So I wonder what that'll look like. I'm very curious to see, with him starting to skate, are they going to be placing Kevin Rooney on waivers as well? But we will talk more about that. Let's talk about Dan Vladar. Dan Vladar is a very different goaltender when the Flames have the lead. It is like Jekyll and Hyde. You're looking at a goaltender who is continuously saved by coaches' challenges, by the way, from the ones in Edmonton that took back like 2 or 3 goals. He had a few more earlier this season, and then last night. Just crazy work. I do not recognize the Dan Vladar in net when the Flames have the lead. It is a very different Dan Vladar than when the Flames don't have the lead, when the Flames are losing. And I wonder if it's the pressure to, he's more alert. He's already got stuff to work with, and it's not all on him. I don't know. I'm not in his brain. I don't know how that works, but wow. 29 saves last night too. He looked good. The last minute and a half of these past few games have been absolutely brutal to watch. It's like the Flames just fall apart. I would prefer if they didn't do that. And that's definitely something to keep an eye on as well. Especially as we get closer and closer to the end of the season, and should this team want to make a run through the playoffs. But coming up next, we are going to take a look at some numbers and break down Huberdeau's performances, the face-offs, as well as what the defense has done differently to kickstart everything here on Locked On Flames. Super Bowl 59 is here. 1 game, 2 teams, endless possibilities, and there is no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. Whether it's predicting the first touchdown, calling the MVP, or even betting on the coin toss, FanDuel makes it easy to get in on the action. With live betting all game long, you can adjust your bets as the game unfolds and feel the thrill from kickoff to the final whistle. The live betting feature lets you stay involved no matter what happens on the field, and the app is super easy to navigate. Plus, knowing that you can place a $5 bet and potentially win $200 in bonus bets for the Super Bowl is pretty great. And it's the icing on the cake. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com to get started. Bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Bet with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 59. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me today on Locked On Flames. Make sure you are subscribed wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. Here for you Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, your Calgary Flames every day. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about Jonathan Huberdeau. It's very easy to get down on him when he's not doing well. Very easy, especially when you're making that kind of money. So let's lift him up and praise him like he deserves. he hit 20 goals last night, and just great. First time as a Flame, 7th time of his career, and it's great. It's good for him. I'm sure that this is the confidence boost that he has needed, that he's been looking for. He's been looking to find this aspect of his game again, and there it is. It is here. And I think what's so fun about it is that this was so unexpected from him, but also the team's performance. And I love it. You guys know, if you've listened to this show whether it's like the second time you've listened or if you're a regular listener, you know that I love an underdog. You know that I love that dark horse in the competition. And I feel like the Flames embody that. But when you have your most expensive player not performing and then he comes out of the blue surging like that is just defying expectations, is chef's kiss to me. And I think that, it's good for him too. I think the confidence for him to continue to do what he's doing and not change his game up too much, because then you don't know what's actually working versus not working. And, this is he has 6 power play goals on the season, and the most he's ever had as a Flame. So that's very exciting. Congratulations, Jonathan Huberdeau. And I think what's neat to remember, or important to remember, is that Huberdeau has bounced around in this lineup. I've been working on an article about his time as a Flame and just kind of this resurgence. And, there were times where he was on the third line, where they were, putting him with fourth liners even. He never really had that permanent home. He's bounced around and has tried to get going, and he's got it. And I think this is super fun and just great. It's great to see. And I know people joke around that it's like that dad to be superpowers, but maybe it is. You never know. But this is crazy. This is what stopped me in my tracks. I understand that they have not played a full season yet, but I was looking at the shooting percentage from this year to last year, and I stopped in my tracks. And I actually had to make sure I was looking at the right statistic, because it didn't seem right. Last season, Jonathan Huberdeau shot at an 8.4%. This season, it's up to a 21.1%. It's not like it's 12, 14, 21%. So he is obviously shooting a lot more, which is obviously creating more scoring chances. And this is good. This is great to see. This is what you need to see. For a player like him, I don't necessarily like to see anyone in the single digits. There's caveats to that, but I don't think a player of Jonathan Huberdeau's caliber should be anywhere in the single digits. So it's great to see that he is shooting again. This has been a key problem for this team. They don't want to shoot the puck. They've gotten better at it, but it's still not great. So, that's definitely something to keep an eye on as well. I think that he is trending in the right direction, especially for a potential playoff run. So let's have at it. Why not? Last night at the face-off dot, another statistic that blew me away. 56.5% on the face-off dot. Yeah, they won more face-offs than they lost, which I feel like does not happen very often. This is another thing that, you can put a check next to in terms of where the Flames need to improve. They have struggled at center. They have struggled winning face-offs. And last night, they looked better. And the numbers prove it. I was honestly shocked watching, and they won face-offs. When they won a face-off, I was like, oh, that's so strange. This doesn't happen. Normally, you might as well just give the puck to the other team, because why not? And I think that this is, again, another step in the right direction for the Flames, because you need to have control over the puck. You need to be able to have control over your game and, again, generate those scoring chances, set up the plays, enter the zone smoothly. Just have control. Like, there have been games where they have completely dominated for like a good chunk of the first period. It was a game last week, actually. I want to say it was against the Ducks, where they just completely took over, and I don't think they like had a whistle for a good chunk of time either. So they were tired and they were going, and I understand it's just the Ducks, but that's the games when you lose and it's like, the Ducks, come on, how did you do that? But this is just a step in the right direction. They are, it is a little late in the season, but they have laid the foundation and are working on building towards the playoff line. Do I want them to go in the playoffs? Yes, absolutely, 100%. Like, there's no point. They're not going to enter the draft lottery. Like, they're not going to be in that realm. So just go for it at this point. I would love to watch some Flames playoff hockey. So let's see. 21 blocked shots. Pretty great. Farabee took one off of the leg, and I was nervous because just he was like flamingo hopping across back to the bench. I was like, oh, good, a broken leg, just what we need. Thankfully, obviously not that. Also, Matt Coronado had a non-contact injury entering the zone as well, and the ice at Climate Pledge Arena looked like garbage. So I haven't heard anything about that, and it's almost 5 p.m. Eastern time, so I would assume there's nothing there. They're off today, so maybe tomorrow, he doesn't skate before the game just for maintenance. Maybe game time decision, depending on how bad it actually was. It could have looked a lot worse than it really was. Kind of like Hunter Zari's injury. But coming up next, we're going to talk about what is on our radar and just what Elliotte Freidman had to say about Rasmus Andersson's next extension. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out with me today on Locked On Flames. Make sure you're following me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Just Belmosto. Well, Rasmus Andersson is going to be a Flame for a long time. That is this messaging that everyone is putting out there. That is what the Flames want. And I love Rasmus Andersson. I think he's great. Do I have concerns about him getting over this hump and being on the wrong side of 30? Yes, just like any player. Do I think it would potentially be more beneficial for the Flames to trade him? Yes, but I understand why they want to keep him. Elliotte Freidman said on 32 Thoughts today that teams have called about Andersson, Weegar, and Kadri, and the Flames are not interested. So that's good. I figured they might potentially shop Rasmus Andersson just to kind of test the waters, but not happening. I think that, they're proud of that homegrown talent, and he has worked with Ryan Huska from day one to get here, and that's a testament to him as an athlete and a person. So good for him. I never thought that they were going to move Weegar. I think that is something that has come up, especially by Ottawa Senators fans, for like the past 2 years, and they're never moving him. He's going to be the next Flames captain if it's not Rasmus Andersson. They're not moving him. I think Kadri would make sense if they were beyond out of a playoff picture, and that could be something potentially next year even. But I think that he is a crucial role on this team. I like Kadri. I think that he is obviously a great impact scorer. He's a great leader. Flames need centers. He's a great center. So that is that. They also talked about how the Flames are buying into Dustin Wolf. The locker room loves what they're seeing from this kid, and they are very, very high on him, which is great. I think it's fantastic. He's a young 23-year-old kid that is doing a lot of the heavy lifting for this team, and good. I'm glad that he's getting the respect he deserves in that room, because I think giving all the credit to a coach is unfair, in my honest opinion. Dustin Wolf has done a crap ton for this team. Let's see. They also mentioned how Craig Conroy, or the Flames organization, sent Craig Conroy out on a private jet to Philadelphia to pick up Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost. My first thought wasn't, oh wow, that's so nice. It was, what do you talk about on a plane for 5 hours with your new boss? Can you sit in silence? Like, what is the proper etiquette? Do you ask about the food in Calgary? Do you ask about the bars? Like, I don't want to give you like this wrong impression of me, like, oh, I just want to know like what the nightlife's like. But what do you do? And Conroy seems like a very social person, and so did Farabee and Frost. So I'm sure it was fine, but I would just need like a day to prepare for that plane ride. And I'd have like a cute like index cards of conversation topics. But I think that is a generous gesture by the Flames. Lord knows they have enough money to do it. Great. Good. I think it's a good way to get to know the players. And, I think it sends a strong first impression as well. Like, we're here to take care of you, and we'll show you that. And that's one thing that I give the Flames a lot of props for, because we have seen organizations just like kick players to the curb, or just the Flames care. Ultimately, the Flames care, and that's nice. That's great to see. I hope that Frost and Farabee are getting settled and enjoy these next few years in Calgary. Let's see. Tomorrow night, they play the Leafs. The Leafs are currently second in the Atlantic. Their top scorer is Mitch Marner with 70 points. 70. You heard that right. And then the next closest is William Nylander with 52 points. Jonathan Huberdeau leads the Flames with 37. So I will let you make of that what you will and put those context clues together. I mean, the Flames, do not get me wrong, the Flames are, gunning for third in the Pacific, but the Atlantic is a lot harder. And that is that. I need the Flames to start scoring more or find scoring somewhere. They need to figure that out. But I don't really necessarily have high expectations for the game tomorrow. Kind of feels like a scheduled loss, but then again, anything is possible with this team, and I think that's another fun part about it. They are willing to keep you on the edge of your seat all 82 games. But I would assume it's Dustin Wolf in net, especially where they're playing at home. So I just hope that they are able to score and get something past whichever goalie of theirs is starting. For a very long time, the Leafs goaltending, or not the goaltending, the defense is kind of leaky. Still is. It seems like really not doing too much of a bang-up job over there by the Flames' former general manager. So I'll be interested to see how that all unfolds. Admittedly, I don't watch a lot of Toronto hockey, but I'm sure we will see something from Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, Calgary. Was he born in Calgary? I think he was born in Sweden, but William Nylander. It's not that I don't care. I don't have high expectations. So let's keep those expectations leveled, and we'll be back tomorrow here on Locked On Flames. Thank you so much for making the show part of your busy days. I greatly appreciate it. You can find me, my work obviously at Locked On Flames, wherever you get your podcasts, and YouTube, Offside News, as well as the Win column. I published my first article today, and I have another one regarding Martin Pospisil going out later this week. So stick around, and we'll be here for you. Thank you all so much, and I will see you tomorrow.